Greetings, pen pals. Another month has come and gone. We are now up to September 2021. For those of you who have seen this type of video from me before, it's fairly simple. I'm going to go over each pen I used each day for work for the month of September 2021. Nothing particular theme or rhyme or reason here, and no special purposes really, just sort of general note-taking, managing my to-do list, general work stuff, nothing, like I said, nothing very specific. But it's the pen I used each and every day in the month of September. Got a lot of pens here to talk about. Many of these I have done reviews on individually, so I would encourage you to check those videos out. Some of these I have not done individual reviews on yet, but they will certainly be forthcoming at some point. No time like the present. Let's get right to it. Okay, the first one up is a vintage pen. This is a pen from SCHAEFFER. This is called the PFM, which stood for Pen for Men. This pen is from just about 1960. It's got a really cool silver and palladium inset nib. It uses a SCHAEFFER snorkel filling system. There's a detailed video on this that goes over the filling mechanism, but needless to say, it might be the single most complicated filling mechanism of any fountain pen. Really, really nice pen. PFM, believe it or not, stood for Pen for Men. It was a fairly girthy pen, and that was viewed as more something that men would want. So yeah, PFM, SCHAEFFER, Pen for Men. So here we have, as we said, a SCHAEFFER PFM, and this ink is J. Herbin Eclat de Saphir. SCHAEFFER PFM. Writes great. Really, really nice. Beautiful sort of inset nib. Nice vintage pen. Next one up is not a vintage pen, but as those of you who watch this channel know, you can't go too long without this guy making an appearance. This is my Ranga Model 5. It's a very, very large clipless ebonite pen, but the star of the show with this pen is this gigantic Bach number 8 18 karat gold nib in medium. It is just, in broad. It is just absolutely fantastic. So we have a Ranga Model 5, and this has an 18 karat Bach nib in broad. And this ink is a ink that's been discontinued, unfortunately, but it is Birmingham Fred Rogers Cardigan Red. Again, you can't go too long on this channel without seeing this pen make an appearance, because this is absolutely one of my favorite pens. Next up is yet another pen from Ranga, another big pen, a Ranga Giant 9B, also in ebonite, but this one is a great pattern to it. Fantastic. This has a steel Canwright nib, also in broad. This is an Indian-made Canwright nib. These Ranga pens also feature ebonite feeds as well. So this is a Ranga Giant 9B, and this this ink is Robert Oster Soda Pop Blue. Ranga Giant 9B. Beautiful pen from Ranga. Writes really well. Next up is one of my favorite Pilot pens. This is a discontinued pen from Pilot. This is the Pilot Bamboo. Has a really unique shape. Has these sort of clipped off ends. This texture here. Just a really nice pen. Great clip. Love the clip on this pen. Really fantastic. And this has a gold Pilot nib in 14 karat with a really nice kind of like somewhat frosted pattern on it. Really nice. Like a lot of the higher end Pilot pens, it has a little filler hole on the end of the feed, so you don't have to completely dunk the nib all the way up to the section in the in ink, which is a nice feature as well. So this is a Pilot Bamboo, and this ink is Iroshizuku Takasumi. Pilot Bamboo, great pen. A discontinued pen from Pilot, unfortunately. You can find them. They came in all like a rollerball as well, and the rollerball is actually quite a bit rarer than the ballpoint, and I believe goes for more money even. So, go figure. All right, next up is sort of a classic, somewhat of a classic, Visconti Homo Sapiens, Bronze Age, oversized, with the lava resin material. Great bronze trim, really hefty pen. Has the Visconti Ponte Vecchio bridge clip. And the Visconti hook safe capping and uncapping mechanism. This is what they call a power filler. It's basically a vac filler without a shutoff valve, effectively. This nib is 23 karat palladium. They have since gone to using gold nibs in these pens, so this is somewhat of a rarity now because they don't make them with the palladium nib anymore. Obviously, there are plenty of them out there in the world, like this one. But anyway, this is a Visconti Homo Sapiens, Bronze Age, oversize. And this has a 23 karat palladium nib in fine. And this ink is Waterman, absolute brown. There you go. Visconti Homo Sapiens Bronze Age oversize. Really, really, really nice pen. Next up, again, one of my favorite pens. Not a pen that's currently in production, but you can find these. This is a Waterman Le Mans Opera 100, meant to look like it was black chased hard rubber. This is an acrylic pen, but really nice pull-off cap, which I find a little bit unusual. It's a cartridge converter filled pen with a gorgeous 18 karat Waterman nib. Just a beautiful bicolor nib, fantastic. So this is a Waterman Le Mans Opera 100, and this has a 18 karat nib in medium, and this ink is maybe one of my favorite blue inks. This is Ackerman Delft's Blau. Great, great pen, great ink. Waterman Le Mans Opera 100. Fantastic pen. All right, next up, Platinum President. Very classic cigar-shaped pen. Very much mimics, say, a Montblanc 146 or 149, etc. Screw to uncap pen. This is a cartridge converter filled pen, but the cool thing about this particular one, it's got a really, really nice 18 karat nib in coarse. So if you can take a look, you can see there's just a huge amount of tipping material on this pen, and you can see how it writes. It writes very, very fat and wet. Really nice writing nib. So this is a Platinum President, and this has an 18 karat nib in coarse. Some call that extra broad, what have you. And this is a really strange ink, if you don't mind me saying. This is Platinum Citrus Black. And as you can see, this ink goes on yellow and then progressively gets darker and darker and darker and turns almost black, but not quite. You still see a lot of the yellow peeking through. So it's a very, very unusual ink. Next up, Twisby Vac 700R in this iridescent iris finish. So all the metal on the pen has this iridescent sheen to it, sort of like a flamed effect. Even the nib, which is really, really cool. Pen doesn't post, so that's one kind of thing I don't like about it. It's a vac filler with a integrated shutoff valve. It has a nice number 6 steel nib. So what we're writing with here is a Twisby Vac 700R, and this ink is KWZ Sheen Machine. Twisby Vac 700R. Pretty popular pen, and for a good reason. Really nice, solid, relatively moderately priced vac filler from Twisby. All right, next up is the Pen BBS 348. This is what they call the experimental test edition pen. This has the spring piston pump filler mechanism, very much like, say, a Twisby Go, for example. And this one was available, and they literally put test edition right on the side of the pen, and they really gave you a lot of warnings. Don't complain if it doesn't work too well, etc. But I think it works great. Nice pen. Again, doesn't post. That's the one gripe that I have about it. But I have a Pen BBS 348, and this ink is Colorverse Pillars of Creation. There we go. Pen BBS 348. All right, next up we have a couple of fairly high-end pens. First up is the Dupont Line D pen. It's a pull-off cap. It's a very heavy pen. It's all metal and lacquer and really hefty pen. Pull-off cap, cartridge converter filled pen. They say that the click when you close it is meant to mimic the click of a Dupont cigarette lighter. DuPont's actually primarily in the business of making things like cigarette lighters. Can't say much about that, but it's got a really nice 14 karat gold nib. Really nice writing pen. Writes really well. So here we have an ST Dupont Line D, and this ink is Diamine 1864 blue black. Dupont Line D, really nice, classy looking pen. One thing it has is the lines here, the lacquer versus this sort of reeded metallic. They don't line up automatically, so you can kind of twist it if you wanted to. So if you want them to line up, you kind of have to do that yourself. All right, next up is another pretty high-end pen. This is my Montblanc 149. I've talked about this pen a lot. I don't think I've ever done a dedicated video on this, but I will get to it at some point. But this is a very sort of famous pen, if you will. So here we have a Montblanc 149. Now this particular one has a 14 karat nib. If you were to buy a new Montblanc 149 today, it would have an 18 karat nib, but this is a vintage one. And this ink is Montblanc Royal Blue. Montblanc 149. Next up is a somewhat limited run pen from Twisby that just came out a few months ago. This is a Twisby Draco. Looks very different from a lot of other Twisby pens. It's got this really nice red acrylic. It's a piston filling pen. Works really well, writes really well, posts not great, writes great, has these rose gold trim and rose gold nib. The only gripe I have, it's got this teeny little number 5 nib, and this is a big pen. It really should have a number 6 nib, not a number 5 nib. So that really, I think, takes this pen down a notch quite a bit. So this is a Twisby Draco, and this has a number 5 steel nib. And this ink is Diamine Writer's Blood. Twisby Draco. Really nice pen. Falls a little bit short for me again because it doesn't have the number 6 nib. Next up is a pen that does not fall short in any way. Pilot Custom 823. There's almost nothing I could say about this pen that hasn't already been said. It's a very well-known pen. Writes absolutely fantastic. Has a 14 karat size, 15 pilot nib in broad. Really great pilot pen. Vac filling pen from Pilot. Pilot Custom 823, and this ink is Pilot Blue. Really Fantastic, fantastic pen. Pretty well-known pen. All right, next up is a pen that I have a lot of different colorways and versions of it. This is a Pen BBS 456. It's a vac filling pen. Great pen from Pen BBS. Number 6, mini fude nib, dual tone steel nib. Really nice. This one is in an ivory and a clear finish. Again, really nice vac filling pen from Pen BBS. So we have Pen BBS 456, and this ink is Birmingham Allegheny Twilight. Pen BBS 456. Really nice pen from Pen BBS. Next up is another Pen BBS pen. This is the Pen BBS 535. Very unusual pen. This was their year of the Ox limited edition. It's got this strange little clip with an actual piece of mineral in there. This is labradorite. It's a numbered limited edition pen. This uses the Pen BBS draw filling mechanism, like that's the same one that's found in the 355, for example. It is a screw to post pen. Just a strange shape, just an odd pen. I kind of like it. I think the reaction in the community to this one was kind of mixed, but personally I kind of like it. So we have a Pen BBS 535, and this ink is from Pen BBS, and they call it Sun Becomes Weaker. I will translate that to just plain old sunset, but in any case, that is this ink, Pen BBS 530, Pen BBS Sun Becomes Weaker, and the pen is the Pen BBS 535, Year of the Ox limited edition. All right, next up, Pilot Vanishing Point Thermo. Now, Pilot Vanishing Point is a very popular pen. This one is the Thermo. Normally on the Vanishing Point, you push to click. This one you twist to make the nib come in and out. So there we go. Again, really nice pen. Has a 18 karat nib. Really nice nice pen. And again, it's a little more practical, the clicky, if you expect, because you kind of do need to, this is tricky to do with one hand. You kind of need two hands to do this twist, but I kind of like it. So this is a Pilot Vanishing Point Thermo. And this ink is Iroshizuku Konpeki. There we go. Pilot Vanishing Point Thermo. All right, next up and last up is my Parker Dualfold. This is from the mid-1920s, so this is coming up on 100 years old. Has this gorgeous, huge 14 karat nib. It's a button filler, which means you open it up and you push that button. The button pushes on a rod, which compresses a sac. So it's a sac filler that uses a button instead of a lever. That's really all there is to it with that. Really nice pen. Parker Dualfold. Parker Dualfold, and this ink is Robert Oster Fire on Fire. There we go. So before I gotta let you guys go, that's all my pens for September, but I would really appreciate it if you all could please like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you could do those things, it would be very much appreciated by me. But that, I think, will do it for this video. I sure hope you enjoyed watching it, because I really enjoyed making it. And as always, until we see each other again, have a great day. Bye-bye.